Welcome to this special broadcast. I'm 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗓. With the temperature soaring by the day, it has become crucial for men and women both to focus on their hair as much as their skin. However, there are some common practices that can do more damage than good when it comes to summer hair care. To discuss on how to keep your hair healthy and stylish in summer season, today I have with me in the studio Dr. Anushree Baishya, MD, Dermatology, trained in dermatosurgery and aesthetic dermatology.
Thank you for
So first of all, tell our viewers, how to keep our hair healthy and stylish in summer.
For the hair to be healthy and stylish, basically the hair should be washed properly, and in summers we sweat a lot. So this sweat has lot of other elements in it. When the sweat is secreted on the scalp, the pores, the hair follicles sometimes get blocked. So it is important that we wash the hair very nicely for the hair to stay healthy, particularly during summers. Hair wash should be more.
Okay, so during summer we protect our skin, we apply sunscreen regularly, but how to protect our hair during the hot weather?
See, there are some leave-in conditioners which have come with sunscreens. So you can check in the market regarding these conditioners, and they can be applied on the hair. So they also help to protect the hair from the harsh rays of the sun. Also, one can use a hair scarf or stay in shaded places. What happens with the harsh rays of the sun? The hair gets dried up and frizzy, and because of the sweat, it breaks, the follicles get blocked, so there is lot of hair fall. So washing the hair and shielding from the sun with a leave-in conditioner which has a sunscreen in it, and also always we should check the pH of the products when we buy some products from the market. When we buy a shampoo or any other hair product, it is important to check the pH. The pH should be matching with the hair shaft and the scalp. So then the hair doesn't become frizzy and it stays manageable.
Alright, so as we said, sweat during summer, so it makes our hair look oily. So can we wash our hair daily, regularly in summer season?
In summers, it depends upon the activity level. If some person is going to the gym, or he is doing lot of strenuous exercise, or he is outdoor for a long time exposed to very dusty places, then he should wash the hair, because when the person is exercising or he is having lot of physical activity, sweating will also be more consistently. So in that way they can wash the hair regularly. But if there is not much of a physical activity, or the person is indoors most of the time, then hair can be washed on alternate days also.
So tell us about the hair care routine during summers. Is there any hair care routine?
Hair care routine during the summers is that wash the hair very nicely, and if check the sweating level. If the sweating is very high, then sometimes it might be due to some internal causes like thyroid disorders or some hormonal problems. Then we should check that. If the sweating is at a normal level, like only on exercise or only on strenuous activities, then the hair should be washed on daily or alternate basis, and we should apply some conditioner to the hair so that it's manageable. So in that way.
Now talking about the hair mask, Dr. Anushree Baishya, well, what is the best homemade hair mask in summer? So should we apply any hair mask during summers, and if yes, then what?
Hair mask should be applied throughout the season. In summers, although the hair mask should be applied maybe once or twice in a month. So we need to cleanse the scalp more rigorously during summers because of the excess sweat. So we need to apply hair masks which have more of natural ingredients such as yogurt or honey, and keep it for some time and wash it off properly. Most importantly, after using a hair mask, shampoo and conditioner should be used, and it should be cleansed off properly so that no residues are left on the scalp when we use any hair mask, be it homemade or be from the market. If there are residues of the hair mask left on the scalp, then again it will block the follicles, and then it will decrease the hair nutrition. So the hair will fall off. We can use a hair mask which has yogurt, curd, that is, and or honey, or sometimes even eggs. But most importantly, we should wash it very nicely.
So we have to keep our hair clean. Keeping our hair clean is the most important thing. All right. Does excessive sweating also causes hair fall?
Excessive sweating as such, it does not cause hair fall if the sweat is washed away. If there is excessive sweating and the hair is kept dirty and it is not washed properly, then there will be hair fall, as I already mentioned, because the hair, one thing is that along with the sweat there is also secretion of some lactic acid, and in case of men there is secretion of a chemical known as DHT. So all these lead to increased sensitivity of the hair follicle to make it brittle and also to make the hair root very weak. So then it tends to fall off easily. Otherwise sweating as such is not a cause of hair loss. But if the sweat is led to stay on the scalp for a long time, if it is not washed properly, if the hair scalp gets dirty or sticky, then indirectly it will lead to hair loss.
So, you know, what are the hair problems we generally face during summers, Dr. Baishya?
Hair problems during the summers, basically a lot of people have itching on the scalp during the summers. Because of this excess sweat, it irritates the scalp. So people, generally children, elderly, they come with itching of the scalp. So again, itching of the scalp, how can, especially in girls, how to prevent? When they are in, we should not braid their hairs or tie their hairs very tightly in case of girls. And in case of boys, we should trim the hair so that there is lot of air, so that it keeps dry and the sweat also evaporates easily. So itching is one of the concerns which happens during the summers. Also, if the hair is kept dirty, then there is the chance of infection of the hair follicles, because if there is lot of sweating, then the sweat also has lot of lactic acid and other chemicals which irritate the scalp. Once the scalp is irritated, it becomes very easy for the fungal and bacterial spores that is already there in the air to attack the follicles, and then over time, if the scalp is again kept dirty, there is lot of sweating, then it might lead to bacterial and fungal infection. So now what is bacterial or fungal infection of the scalp? When we say fungal infection, sometimes we have dandruff, that is the whitish residue that is formed on the scalp normally. But fungal infection also sometimes looks like the dandruff only. Only thing is that there will be lot of itching and there will be sometimes there will be redness, and the hair might and the scalp might look a little bit swollen, or there might be some oozing discharge from the scalp. So these things are very important during summers. That is, as I already mentioned, washing of the scalp is very important, so that there is no infection or basically bacterial infection or fungal infection, and not braiding the hairs very tightly in case of girls, so that the hair can dry properly and it is kept dry and clean.
Okay. So, Ms. Baishya, you know, how to manage long hairs if somebody has a long hair? So, how to manage it during, you know, the summer season?
So, as I have mentioned, in case of long hair, if the hair is washed, when the hair is washed, it should be dried properly before tying the hair. And also, as we already talked about the hair mask, they can be used regularly. That maintains the texture, it improves the texture of the hair. Also, we have nowadays lot of treatments to maintain the long hair, because as the hair grows away, we know hair like it grows in some cycles. There is a growth phase, then there is a resting phase, and there is the falling phase. So once the hair grows long, that means the growing phase has continued for a long time.
Okay.
So obviously there will be some nutritional challenges to the hair follicle, since the hair is growing. So we need to provide more of nutrition to the hair follicle, so that the hair shaft is healthy, the hair root is healthy, and that hair does not fall off easily. So even in summers or winters, especially in summers, what we need to do is we should comb the hair very frequently, so that we increase the circulation of the scalp. Also nowadays lot of treatments are available known as mesotherapy, platelet-rich plasma therapy. So those can be done when consulted with a dermatologist, MD dermatology. So they can suggest, they can examine the scalp and diagnose properly whether the hair the treatment is needed or not. And then if they suggest, we can go for like those mesotherapy, where we put some vitamins into the scalp with a machine, and also platelet-rich plasma therapy, whereby there is some vitamins which is extracted from the person's own blood, and then it is prepared and then put into the scalp. So they help in revitalizing the hair roots, and they provide nutrition to the hair roots. But these treatments should be taken only after consultation with a dermatologist. Once they examine the hair and diagnose that there is no other dermatological infection or other cause of hair loss, then only they can suggest or do such treatment.
So now another very important question, doctor. Well, does wearing helmet regularly causes hair fall?
Yeah, this is a very important question. Helmet use nowadays is thought of to be a cause of hair loss, and helmet wearing is important, especially in men as well as women while riding a pillion or scooty. So helmet as such, it does not lead to hair loss, but the helmet should be such that it is fitting the scalp properly, because if someone has good hair or thick hair and if the helmet is pressing on the hair, so any sort of pressure anywhere on the scalp over a long time, that will lead to loss of hair in that area. So that is, as such, helmet use will not lead to loss of hair. But if the helmet is not fitting properly on the head and there is there is rubbing of the helmet material with the scalp skin or the hair, so that will lead to loss of hair in that area. So that is one of the causes why we should always be careful while wearing the helmet, although helmet wearing is a must, but it should be fitted properly. And second thing is, the helmet in our summers there is lot of humidity, especially in our region. So when we wear a helmet, the sweating becomes very high in the hair. So that also leads to lot of heat and loss of lot of heat and sweating, which leads to the clogging of the hair follicles. So the helmet should also be kept in the some sort of air when it is not used, so that it dries easily, and the material should be such that it does not lead to too much of heat build up on the hair and the scalp.
All right, Dr. Anushree Baishya, we will talk more about summer hair care. But viewers, now it's time for a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll discuss more on summer hair care. Stay with us. All right, welcome to this special broadcast, as today we have with us Dr. Anushree Baishya, MD Dermatology. So Dr. Baishya, now please tell us, do men lose more hair during summers because of various reasons such as extreme heat or helmet, anything it could be?
Yeah, men tend to lose more hairs during the summer, especially after workout or exercise, because there is lot of sweating, and then if the hair is not cleaned properly, so then there will be excess of hair loss. But as such, summers cannot be considered as a cause of hair loss. In men, the causes of hair loss are many. Most common is the patterned hair loss, which we say is the genetic pattern of hair loss. That is, in a pattern the hair becomes less in men. In men, in case of patterned hair loss, which can occur both in summers as well as in other seasons also, what happens is that the hair becomes thinner. The hair doesn't fall off, but it becomes thinner. So it starts receding from the temple areas. In that is known as miniaturization. We say that the hair has become smaller, it becomes baby hair. So it is a genetic factor which leads to that changes of the thick hair to the baby hair, which occurs only in men. In case of ladies, what happens, that genetic hair loss occurs, but the hair does not recede from the temples. The hair, the parting of the hair becomes broader and the hair becomes sparser. So in men, when we see that there is thinning of the hair, there is hair loss only from the temples, it is not because of summer hair loss or because of sweating, it is a genetic hair loss, for which there are a lot of treatments available, which can be done after proper consultation and analysis of the scalp, hair and also the systemic, if any other problem is there. But if there is no recession from the temple areas, there is no pattern, there is no shape that the hair is going away, and there is hair loss all over the scalp in summers, then we can think that maybe it is because of the excess sweating, excess dirt in the scalp, which is leading to loss of nutrition or loss of hair strength. But it can also be a sign of some underlying problem. Like when we had COVID, after like 2-3 months of when person recovered from COVID, there we have seen a lot of hair fall. So that is not related to the sweating or some other cause. These are internal. Whenever there is when we suffer through disease or there is anxiety or there is lot of crash dieting, where a diet change changes completely,
Yes.
or our sleep pattern is totally changed, or we are passing through some, or the person is passing through some mental problem or stress, then the hair follicles, they also tend to get affected by that stress. They also come into stress, and then the hair falls off. So that is, that can again be aggravated, that can become more severe during the summers, as because of the, as we already mentioned, because of the sweating, associated dirt, and if the hair is not kept clean. But underlying cause will be there if there is lot of hair fall in the scalp, not only because of the sweating, but there will be other causes which will have to be ruled out, and and the dermatologist should always be consulted.
So, Dr. Baishya, now, how much hair fall is normal? What is the right time to consult the doctor for hair fall?
If we say how much hair fall is normal, as I said, hair passes through some cycle. It grows, it stays static for some time, and then that hair will come out. It has a hair root, like everything has a root, it also hair has a root. So that root goes through some sort of a growth phase, then it will fall off after some time once it is gone through that phase. But once it falls off, there will be the coming out of a new hair. That is the normal cycle which goes on from infancy towards adulthood, towards aging. But when the hair fall is there, but the new hair doesn't grow out, then what will happen? The hair will become sparse. There will be less amount of hair.
Okay.
So this less amount of hair can occur in a very short time, like within a month. If there is some internal problem like thyroid, menstrual irregularities in case of females, in case of men, in case of other systemic liver diseases, anxiety as we mentioned, dieting, too much of exercise. But if the hair fall is over a long time, then we will not see this clump of hair coming out. It will be very less every day, less, and then the new hair will not be formed. So there is no hard and fast rule how much hair is falling, although it is said that up to 100 hair fall is normal.
Per day?
Per day. It is said, it is considered up to 100 hair fall is normal, but if the person already has a very less amount of hair on the scalp, then that 100 hair fall might also be not so be okay. So if the person notices that there is acute, there is short term, there is lot of hair fall, or over a long time he sees that the hair is going in a small amount, but there is no regrowth of new hair, then always the dermatologist should be consulted to find out exactly why it is happening.
To find out the reason.
Because sometimes it may be due to anemia, because of not proper iron in the body. Nutritional deficiencies, they are the most common, and sleep, lifestyle, all these things, we have to rule out those things before we can suggest some treatment. And there are nowadays lot of treatments available for hair loss if it is diagnosed early. We have some topical medications, those are lotions which can be applied on the scalp. Then there are tablets which can be taken, and also there are some treatments which dermatologists do in the clinics. They can put some small medicines into the hairs, into the scalp, which rejuvenates, the root of the hair, which ultimately leads to strengthening of the hair, improved texture of the hair. And also at home, some regular care can be taken, such as oiling of the hair, and coconut oil is one of the best oils used.
Okay.
So the hair should be oiled regularly, and that oil should not be left off during the day when the person is doing outdoor activities. It should be, as we always know, it should be washed off. So like that.
So, another important question, Dr. Baishya, well, what kind of shampoo should one use if, he or she has to wash their hair regularly? Because as already mentioned that during summers, keeping our hair clean is the utmost important thing. So, we should be very selective while, which shampoo to use.
Yes. That is very important, because now what happens when we are seeing the marketing, when we at the market we see lot of products for the hair. There will be shampoos, there will be hair masks, there will be conditioners. So sometimes we get confused, we tend to use one product in a month, and when it finishes we tend to go to some other product.
Yes.
So that happens, we get attracted by the lot of thing that is created around the product. So, what we should see is that we should stick to one product, one brand, and we should you continue with that instead of changing brand. That is very important for maintaining the hair quality. And even shampoos, like an adult person should not use a baby shampoo. The baby shampoo will not be cleaning the hair properly. So, he has to use a shampoo which is appropriate for his age. And importantly, we should check the pH balance of the shampoo. Shampoos which have a pH which is towards the hair shaft, pH it is considered as 5.5. It can be checked, there will be written it is a pH balanced shampoo. And also we should check chemicals which should not be there in the shampoos. That is there are some chemicals known as parabens. Those are preservatives. So, paraben free, sulfate free shampoo should be used for the hair, and after shampooing always a conditioner should be used. Conditioner, it maintains the pH of the hair and pH of the hair shaft. So, the hair is manageable and the hair strands do not become dry and frizzy. Of course, the conditioner should be washed off from the hair before going out, and it should be dried properly. And hair styling should be minimum during the summers. Already it is very hot, the hair becomes frizzy. So, if we style the hair a lot, then again the frizziness will be more and the hair will break off. So, those are the things that should be kept in mind during summers.
So, Dr. Baishya, does food, exercise or daily lifestyle have any role for maintaining a good hair?
Yes, food, exercise and lifestyle, those are the most and the only important things apart from the genetic factors or diseases to maintain the hair quality. If someone is crash dieting or someone is changed the diet very suddenly, then there will be a stress to the hair follicles also, because hair follicles are very sensitive to our lifestyle, to our diet. Sleep is the most important thing to maintain a good hair. If the person in children during exams, they tend to lose a lot of hair because of stress, anxiety, lack of sleep. And exercise it helps in stimulating the hair roots and improving the hair quality. But then in some cases during exercise, if there is lot of sweating, then sometimes it might be detrimental to the hair quality if it is not washed off. And also the internal condition, if there is any thyroid problem or there is lack of iron in the blood, then there is lot of hair fall.
Alright, so doctor, what to do, any homemade remedy to minimize hair loss?
Homemade remedy, diet is the most important thing to minimize hair loss. Protein should be added to the food. Basically, egg is one of the best sources of protein. Also, harsh shampoos, frequent changing of products should be avoided. A dermatologist should be consulted if it does not resolve with added protein, or oil should be applied, coconut oil. Sometimes hair mask can be prepared, as we said, with yogurt and all, which should be washed off very nicely. So, those are the simple things that can be done, basically diet and oiling of the hair. After that also, if the hair fall does not control, then a dermatologist should be consulted.
So, one should apply lemon juice. It is said that lemon juice is good for dandruff. So, one should apply lemon juice when there is excessive dandruff?
See, what we call as excessive dandruff, that is dandruff is like it is a scaling of the scalp skin. The scalp becomes very oily. So, what happens, the skin, that is the scalp skin, tends to clump on itself. So, then it becomes the whitish residues are there, that is we say commonly as dandruff. But dandruff, it is a condition, sometimes that oiliness can also come down to the face, and then in children or in teenagers we see acne on the face. So, it is part of the same thing, that scalp oiliness leads to oiliness of the face. There is we see dandruff on the scalp and we see acne on the face. So, in that case, if there is a lot of dandruff in the hair, then lemon juice will not help. But if someone is having mild flaking or the scalp feels, the hair does not feel very dry or feels very sticky, then lemon juice will, in a healthy scalp, lemon juice will help to maintain the health of the scalp. But once there is lot of dandruff, there is acne on the face, the scalp has already become oily, then lemon juice will not much help in taking care of the condition. Then we have to go for medications. And I suggest that homemade remedies should be used when the skin is healthy, where the scalp is healthy. Those are like for maintenance of the scalp health, skin health.
All right. So, doctor, thank you so much for all these remedies. I hope this episode will be very beneficial for all the viewers. So, thank you so much, Dr. Anushree Baishya, for joining us this afternoon. So, that's all we have in this special broadcast. Keep watching Northeast Live, and thanks for watching.